All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. I'm gonna give it a minute, make sure the audio is all set. Let me check that. Good morning everyone. Okay, the audio is good. We are in business, and hope everyone had a not as stressful of an evening with Bitcoin making its low. And I believe that is the low. But we're going to go take a look at the charts. This is my last day right here with this gorgeous lakeside view. I am off to Tampa, which is only like an hour and a half away from where I am now. We are going to get some drinks tonight. I will tweet out where we're going for drinks if you are in the Tampa area. And by Tampa, I'm actually going to be in St. Petersburg. So we're going to be getting drinks in St. Petersburg. I think I know where it will be. We'll probably head over to this hotel. Oh, what the hell is it called? Something with a V. Vinoy or something. But anyway, most people watching aren't in St. Petersburg anyway. But I'll tweet it out, and I'll so keep an eye on Twitter. I haven't gotten rid of my Twitter yet, but that's coming. Okay, let's go to the charts. All right, here's the monthly chart. All right, sorry, I just sneezed there for a second. Here's the monthly chart. That is a very nasty looking monthly candle, but the month is not yet over. We still have a good 8 days or so. We still have a full week to go before the month ends. So let's see how it ends. We continue to respect the monthly MRI top. I had a feeling that we would have the swing high this month based on how last month ended. I was anticipating that swing high to be a little bit higher than the swing high that we got. And we will see. With 8 days to go, anything can still happen. Weekly chart. We are on an MRI warning candle. The way we consolidated last week, I was still optimistic that we would go and make a new high and perhaps stop either next week or the first week of February before having a more sustained correction. We're going to talk about that and see what the chart looks like now. This weekly chart does not look threatening. It does not yet look seriously problematic at all. However, we are also respecting the weekly MRI warning candle that is going to disappear in a few days and will be replaced by a second consecutive MRI top. The only way that's not going to happen is if we have a catastrophic fall in the next 3 days, which is possible, but I don't believe is very likely. All right, give me 1 second. So, how many live viewers do we have? Wow, we're at 700 live viewers. And I see Motorist on. Is he sending me questions? He is. Can you ask Tone why this is not like the top in January of 2018 and why he thinks we're not going down for a year after this pop? Oh, this is nothing like the top of January 2018. It's nothing like that. The top in January 2018 came after a 2-year bull market. We've only been in a bull market less than a year. We're not even close. Not even close. It's nothing like that top. The daily chart is really, really interesting. We broke down this triangle maybe a day or two early. I was hoping to see this triangle break down a little bit later. And had the triangle broken down a little bit later, even 2 days later, this low of 28,800 would have perfectly bounced off the moving average. As we zoom in, we can see how the low came in a bit shy No, it's not drawing it, but the low came in a bit shy. Not that shy, but it came about $1,000 shy of real support. And you guys remember what I said yesterday? I said that $28,000, when we did fall into the $28,000 area, $28,000 would have been the perfect buy for me, but not yesterday or not early this morning. It would have been the perfect buy for me if it happened on Sunday or Monday. It did not happen on Sunday or Monday. It also happened like late in the evening. I was watching it go low, but I think this low was made in the middle of the night for me. No, it was only at 7 p.m. This is the 4 hour. Oh, no, it did happen later. Sorry, hourly chart. Yeah, it happened at 8 p.m. So I was still awake, but I was having a barbecue. Those that follow me on Instagram saw that we were smoking ribs, and I was enjoying company. I wasn't sitting in front of my computer, and therefore I did not see this low come in and the subsequent bounce. But I am watching it this morning, and this morning it's looking pretty good. Let's look at the 4 hour chart. The 4 hour chart has a beautiful reversal candle. The important thing for me is that we have fallen significantly lower than the prior low. Not that significantly, but $1,500 lower for 5%. That is a big enough difference. That is a big enough difference to tell me that this is not a double bottom. Also, if we look at it candle close to candle close, we also closed $700 lower at candle close, which also tells me that this is not a double bottom. And because this is not a double bottom, this has the possibility of reversing the market to the upside. If it was a double bottom, it would have been more complicated. But this is not a double bottom. I should check to see if there's divergence. And there actually isn't much divergence. So if we go this low into this low, there really isn't any divergence. That there are approximately the same level. So that's not very useful. The CMF is telling us that this is a more dangerous low than this low for potentially more new lows. And the funding rate is the one savior right now. Look at the funding rate. The funding rate has completely reset and is now favoring the bulls. That is beautiful. That is the 4 hour funding rate that is completely favoring the bulls. Or about the daily funding rate? It looks like the daily funding rate has started to favor the bulls as well. And that is also a really, really good sign. It's not as good as this, like back in November, but it is a sign. So this is great. Everything has reset. This daily candle is looking very strong. If this candle can close above 32,500, which is not a very big ask, but if this candle can close above 32,500, this could be it. For the low, would have been nice to see it come down a little bit further yesterday, down into the $27,000 range. That would have perfectly bounced off of the support line and the moving average. And it also would have been nice if we didn't fall this much this quickly and made the current $27,000 low on Sunday, Monday. That would have been a perfect buy the dip for me. But I'm pretty confident that the low is in. A lot of this drop was caused by stupidity panic of not understanding what it is to have a double spent. Bitcoin was not double spent, but even Cointelegraph couldn't figure that out. So it goes to show you how people in the crypto space understand crypto. We took a look at the article yesterday, and it only took me about, 30 seconds to figure out how that makes no sense at all, and there was no double spend. But hey, some of the people that write articles about crypto don't really understand crypto. So here's your end result. As long as you didn't over leverage, you were fine. I'm still bullish in this environment. This did not scare me, and I will continue to hold. my GBTC because the funding rate is unreasonably low. We still need a few more minutes to see what's going on today. I will probably release this indicator sometime this weekend or later this week, and anyone can go ahead and look at the historical funding rate and where we are. And historically, this funding rate is incredibly, incredibly low. All right, we got more questions. Tone, in your view, what is the difference between a large correction versus a bear market? Well, a bear market takes years. I mean, we just had a bear market. Our bear market ended. We had a bear market that either started in December of 2017 or January 2018. Depends on when you consider the start of the bear market. But it doesn't really matter. They're 1 month apart, so who cares? It's a lot harder to identify the end of the bear market. This time it's a lot harder. Some people said think the bear market ended in December of 2018. I believe the bear market ended in March of 2020. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference. So either the bear market lasted 1 year or the bear market lasted 2 years and 3 months. It's a huge difference, more than double the time. For me, well, I guess I'm biased, right? I didn't call the end of the bull market until this happened. That's when I called the end of the bull market. Many people called the end of the bull market a lot earlier. And some of those people got into a lot of trouble over here because they were convinced that the bull market was over and their positions were not set up for a 50% crash, 60% crash or more, right? So this was a big crash. So you can either say this was a 72% correction in a bull market. I don't like to say that. You can say this was a mini bear market. I don't want to say that either. What I say is this was the overall bear market that fell 80%. It wasn't the ultimate low. The ultimate low came in over here, but the bear market continued. And this low was similar to that low, but it happened a year and 3 months later. People forget about time. Time is important. Time is a factor here. The reason why this, to me, is not the end of a bull market is because our bull market has not lasted long enough. And certainly went up almost enough, but time-wise didn't even come close. Now, if you believe the bull market started back here in December, and now you're looking at it, well, December until January of this year, that is a full 2 years. If that's how you look at it, 2 years is almost enough time to complete a bull market phase in Bitcoin. But I'm looking at it from March of last year. And that's only been like, not even a year, like 10 months. And that is nowhere near enough time to complete a bull market. So it depends on how you look at it. So for me, the bull market just getting started. We're maybe a quarter of the way in, a third of the way in, and then we will have our correction. Also, you got to take a look at the fundamentals. I don't talk about fundamentals much because they're very, very simple. Bitcoin fundamentals is the Bitcoin chain is secured. It has never been double spent in a long time. It is stable. It is fairly fast. Transactions are still processing. Lightning Network still works. Everything works. Every 10 minutes, there's a block. Every 10 minutes, there's a block. Every year that goes by, people have more and more confidence in Bitcoin. These are Bitcoin's fundamentals. Every year that goes by, your shitcoin proves itself that it's a disaster. And that's why they all have problems one by one. That's why they all get 51% attacked. That's why they all get double spend. In Bitcoin, it's all theoretical. Oh, China is going to take over all the mining and they're going to 51% attack. Whatever. Talk to me when it happens. But your Ethereum Classic chain was actually double spent. No one seems to pay attention that in shitcoins, these theoretical things actually happen. In Bitcoin, they're just wild theories of they could happen. It's like everyone is like, people ignore the reality on the ground and instead have a fear of the magical man in the sky. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. Tone, check out the volume for Bitcoin on a 4-hour daily. Well, my volume indicator only changes the color. It doesn't change the size of the bar. Let me see. Do I have a... I mean, volume is nothing special on the daily. I don't even have a volume thing here. Volume is not bad. I like it. It's not, I mean, it's not volume that we had here. That was nice volume. Beautiful reversal. Not as nice, but still a decent reversal. All right, see what else you guys have. A big descending triangle on a 4-hour chart. Too early to tell. I think it's too early to tell. Since we lost the symmetric triangle, I mean, I could do this. It's possible. It's possible. We can certainly do that. That could be trouble. That's very clean. Very clean. Let's see where that leads us. I'm going to leave it. Clearly, this did not work out. But since it is a descending triangle, I got to flip it. That's a big move. That's a $10,000 move, boys and girls. That is trouble. That is trouble. But you know what? That's going to fully reset Bitcoin. I will, if that happens, I don't think it will happen, but it can happen. That is a very nasty descending triangle in the making. Be very careful with this. Be very, very careful. I need to move this arrow like that. I need space between the triangle and the arrow. We need to clearly break the triangle to the upside. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I already have 2 clean touches. Pretty damn clean. Pretty damn clean. Yeah, something to keep an eye on for sure. Definitely something to keep an eye on. All right. Tone, the other day you called ARKG a potential hyperwave, but it is an actively traded ETF. Can it be in a hyperwave under these circumstances? I mean, it can be. It's an active ETF on a certain sector, and if that sector implodes, then the ETF would fall. You know, like SPY is also an ETF that is actively managed. So the other thing I wanted to point out, GBTC should be being traded right now. So the price ticked up and the Premium ticked up a little bit as well. The premium is now up to 7.7%. Yesterday was the nice low in that premium. I'm not sure it's going to be that low again, especially if we start rising now. Premium could rise, so the GBTC will rise faster. Hey guys, don't forget, I am on Mastodon and I'm also on Gab, and I will be transitioning out of Twitter over the next year. So keep that in mind. I'm also traveling. I'm traveling once again. I cannot stay home. The politics is over. It is what it is. And now the question is, what's going to happen with COVID, the mandatory vaccines, the PCR tests, the lockdowns. And I'm hoping people stand up and fight back for their, freedom to breathe. If you want to support, check out the tutorial videos on products and services, on-demand videos, or MRI. I still need to make these videos shorter, and then we do the Q&A in the private chat. I got to do that. Okay, so one last thing I wanted to mention, and then I'll take a peek at gold and stocks, and then we're going to call it a day, is the correction. The overall correction. Here's the daily chart. And I'm just, I'm going to leave that. So if we look at the overall correction from peak to from the high to the low, that is a 31% correction from peak to low. That is the absolute minimum. I really wanted to see a 40% correction from peak to low and a 30% correction close to close. If we move this close to close or open to close, that's only a 24% correction open to close and a 31% correction peak to peak. That is the absolute bare minimum requirement for a correction in a bull market for Bitcoin historically. And ideally, I want to see a higher correction, a slightly bigger correction than that. If we had gone down one more $1,000 over to 27, that would have been, I would have said, okay, that's enough. That's it. That's the correction. But because this came up on the lowest possible tier of a good enough correction in a bull market, it means that it is still possible to make a new swing high sometime in the next month or two and still correct to a new swing low, lower than yesterday's low. And that would reset the bull market for an even higher high later in the year. But we need this one major correction. And while it's possible that this is the correction that just occurred, I think it's on such a, like it literally fits the bare minimum requirements. And I don't like to put too much weight on the bare minimum requirements. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, we got super chats now. All right, let me look at some of your Q&A. So what do we got? Tone, some say this is a bear trend after breaking support. I don't think this is a bear trend. With socialism coming to our country, I'm assuming you mean the US, Marek? Because if you're in Europe, it's been there for a little while longer. If you're in Canada, it's been there for a while. I worry they might come for my Bitcoin. Oh, they're coming for your Bitcoin. They're coming for your Bitcoin, man. Do you know a good wallet or something where my Bitcoin will be saved? Yeah, of course. Cold Card. There are others, but I do have. Well, it's not even an affiliate; it's a discount code. So if you go to affiliates, you can save 5% on your cold card. It's probably where your Bitcoin is the safest. It's not the most user-friendly thing, but yeah. They're coming. They're coming for your Bitcoin, man. Will we be at this price without the COVID year? Yeah, I believe we would be. I do believe we would be at this price without the COVID year. I don't see how COVID changed Bitcoin, because while the COVID year did make a lot of people more broke, it also made a lot of people more woke on what the government does to its people. And when people wake up and realize what the government does to its people, they buy into things like Bitcoin in order to, save themselves financially. So, like I said, if there was no COVID, Trump would still be president of the United States. The stock market would probably be higher than it is today. Unemployment would be very small. People would be pretty happy with their financial standing, and those people would have more money to buy into things like Bitcoin, but for a different reason. People would still be buying Bitcoin, but they wouldn't be. Bitcoin would have been a little more stable. Bitcoin probably, if it wasn't for COVID, Bitcoin probably would not have fallen this much this quickly. Bitcoin probably would have just stabilized down here, still broke out, but because of its stabilization, it would have broke, and without the fear and the government tyranny, Bitcoin probably would have gone up a lot slower, but it also would have avoided this disaster. So we would probably be at approximately the same price today, but we would have, or maybe a smidge lower, but we would certainly be in a full-blown bull market. We would probably be above the all-time high, but I don't think we would have reached 42,000. So I think reaching 42,000 was definitely benefited by COVID, because more people are scared of government now than they would have otherwise been, because it's not COVID that destroyed your life. It's the government that destroyed your life. Now, I have a lot of questions, but I do want to get going. I gotta start driving to St. Petersburg. Why does this happen? Okay. Can you explain the importance of a correction from a technical perspective? Without a correction, smart money doesn't get to buy in at proper levels. And when smart money doesn't get to buy in at proper levels, there is less stability in the market, because when people that aren't smart buy in, they panic. Professionals don't panic. Professionals know what they're doing, and you really need this area so that professionals can properly buy in, because without it, there could be distortions in the market when stupidity happens. It's kind of hard to explain. It's also historically, like if you look at the 2017 bull market, you see all of that was a perfect correction. Like I was trading a little more actively back then, and you can see people buying in. This was the one that bothered me. This one I felt didn't fall enough. It could be where we are now. See, this was the break above the prior all-time high, and we went a lot. We went up 50% to the upside. Oh no, I'm sorry. We went up 200 or 300% to the upside, but then we only corrected like 40%, and I felt that we should have corrected all the way down. Same problem. Could be the same ending. We went up about 100% since breaking. Last time we went up 200%. This time we went up 100%. And I don't think we're ever gonna pull back all the way. Like I don't think we're gonna go to 20,000 ever again. Probably not. And we're gonna leave this gap, and this gap will always bother me going forward, even if we never touch it, until we have a full bear market and then come back. And that's like this gap doesn't bother me anymore. Like this gap to 1300 doesn't bother me anymore. The reason why it doesn't bother me anymore is because we entered a new bull market. As long as we were in a bear market, this gap always bothered me. So if we never come back to 20K, this gap is going to continue to bother me throughout the bull market and the subsequent bear market. And then once the next bull market begins, this gap will no longer bother me. Tom, for those wishing to add to their GBTC holding, would you advise starting to dollar cost average from here? Yeah, of course. I'd always advise the dollar cost average. Or would you wait until the reversal is confirmed? No. The whole point of dollar cost averaging is to not guess the price of Bitcoin. That's the whole concept of dollar cost averaging. If you're an experienced trader, you want to play around with 10% of your Bitcoin holdings. As a trader, you go for it and you try to pick, buys and sells. But if your plan is to dollar cost average, you should have started that plan yesterday. Like I always say, if you're going to hold Bitcoin for the long haul, the best day to buy was yesterday. Tone, there are similarities with this and 2017 and the V-shaped pattern. And the drop below the 200 exponential moving average. I'm assuming you mean it has to be like on a 4-hour exponential moving average, maybe? Yeah, that's probably the 200. Wrong indicator. Yeah, that's the 200. I mean, the 200's been good. Last time we hit the 200, we rallied really, really hard. You can also, and we'll see what happens here. We will see what happens here. We're back above it. I mean, we got to get all these moving averages flipped and move into the upside, and then we're in the clear. Okay, I believe that's it. All right, I'm just going to take a sneak peek at the rest of them. You can see how the Ethereum premium is not going anywhere whatsoever because all of the smart money exited and took the advantage of the premium. The Ethereum Bitcoin chart, Ethereum is still looking bullish versus Bitcoin, and obviously it's looking bullish versus the dollar. Dominance is not doing great. I still remain very skeptical on gold, and I will wait to be bullish gold until it breaks 19,050 bucks, 1,950 bucks. S&P, I remain bullish on the S&P. I mean, all the money printing is, they're about to print money like there's no tomorrow. If you thought Trump administration printed a lot of money during COVID, just wait till Biden and Janet Yellen get their hands on it. A couple of my friends wanted me to look at BlackBerry. I don't have a comment on BlackBerry. I think it topped based on a daily chart. Weekly chart is still pretty bullish, but it's very overextended. And the monthly chart is just crazy. I would stay away from BlackBerry. I don't chase, so I would never buy it here. The time to buy BlackBerry, if you go to the daily chart, you look for a green star, you look for a break of prior swing high. The time to buy I don't even know when a good time to buy BlackBerry was. I didn't even know this company still existed. Thought somebody would have bought them out by now. Probably over here, the break of this multi-month consolidation. Like I wouldn't buy it anywhere here. Like yeah, and there was a weekly MRI top here. I don't know. I would not have been trading this. And we're still waiting for this shitcoin to be less than 1% of a Bitcoin. We came close. We'll get there. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will one more sneak peek at where I am now. I'm gonna drive over to Tampa and St. Petersburg, Florida. We're gonna be getting drinks at some bar in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the evening, around I don't know 9 o'clock or something. I'll go out to dinner, have a steak with a few friends, and then I'm gonna tweet out which bar we're hanging out in. So if you are in the St. Petersburg area, uh, right on the other side of the bay from Tampa Bay, come join us for a drink. All right. Thank you all for watching and see you all on the next one.